The first thing Junho felt was pain. It started in his chest and spread through his body like fire. His eyes opened slowly, fighting against bright lights that hurt to look at. Everything was white and clean around him. The air smelled strange, like flowers mixed with metal. He tried to move, but his body would not listen. His right arm was wrapped in something soft and his left leg felt heavy. When he turned his head, he saw tubes and wires connected to his body. Strange machines beeped quietly nearby. "You're awake," said a soft voice. Junho looked toward the sound. A figure moved closer to his bed. She was tall and thin, with skin that looked like blue crystal. She had 6 arms that moved like water as she checked the machines around him. Her face was kind but very different from any human face he had ever seen. "What? Where am I?" Junho's voice came out rough and quiet. "You are in the medical center on Kepler 442b, she said. Her words were careful, like she was thinking about each one. "I am Yuna. I am your nurse." Junho tried to remember what happened. He was flying his ship doing a survey mission. Then there was fire and noise and everything went dark. "My ship," he said. "Your ship crashed 3 days ago," Yuna said. She moved one of her hands to check something on his arm. "You were hurt very badly. Burns, broken bones, bleeding inside your body. We thought you might not live 3 days." Junho closed his eyes and tried to think. The survey mission was supposed to be simple. Just check the planet for resources and send a report back to Earth. "What went wrong? The others from my ship?" he asked. Yuna's face became sad. "You were alone when we found you." "I am sorry." Junho felt something cold in his chest. His crew of 4 had been with him for 2 years. They were good people, good friends. Now they were gone and he was alone on an alien world. "You should rest," Yuna said. "Your body is still healing." But Junho had questions. "What kind of place is this? Are there other humans here?" "This is a neutral medical facility," Yuna explained. "Many different species come here for help. We treat everyone the same. There are some humans who work here, but not many." She moved around his bed, checking different machines. Her 6 arms worked together in a way that looked like dancing. Each hand knew exactly what to do without her looking. "You are Veltharian," Junho said. He had studied different alien species at the academy but had never met one in person. "Yes," Yuna said. She seemed surprised that he knew.
"How do you feel about that?"
"I don't know," Junho said honestly. "I've never talked to someone from your people before." Yuna nodded. "Most humans have not. We do not interact much with your species. Why are you helping me then?" "Because you need help," she said simply. "That is what we do here." Junho watched her work. Her movements were smooth and careful. She seemed to know exactly what his body needed before he even felt it. When his throat felt dry, she gave him water. When his back started to hurt, she adjusted his position. "There is something I must tell you," Yuna said after a while. She looked nervous. "While you were unconscious, you did something strange." "What did I do?" "You reached for my hand," she said quietly. "Many times. Even when you had fever and could not think clearly, you would try to hold my hand." Junho felt embarrassed. "I'm sorry if that bothered you." "It did not bother me," Yuna said quickly. "But it confused everyone else. In Veltharian culture, holding hands is very important. We only do it with someone we want to bond with for life." The other staff could not understand why an unconscious human would seek that connection. "I don't remember doing it," Junho said. "I know. That is what made it interesting." Yuna moved closer to his bed. "Humans do this naturally? Seek comfort through touch even when not awake?" "I guess so," Junho said. "When we're scared or hurt, we want to feel connected to someone. It makes us feel safer." Yuna tilted her head, thinking about this. "Veltharians communicate mostly through bioelectric signals. Physical touch is rare and special for us, but you did it without thinking. Like breathing." The door to the room opened and another human walked in. He was older than Junho, with gray hair and tired eyes. He wore the same white clothes as Yuna, but with different symbols on them. "Junho," the man said with a smile. "Good to see you awake. I'm Dr. Taemin. We went to the academy together, though you probably don't remember me. I was 2 years behind you." Junho looked at the man's face and slowly recognized him. "Taemin, what are you doing here?" "I've been working at this facility for 5 years," Taemin said. "When they brought you in, I couldn't believe it." "What are the chances?" "Pretty small," Junho agreed. Taemin checked some of the machines and nodded to Yuna. "How is he doing?" "Much better," Yuna said. "His body is healing well, but he will need more time before he can walk." "What happened to my ship?" Junho asked Taemin. I remember explosions but nothing else. Taemin's face became serious. Your ship was shot down. We found pieces of Corvan weapons in the wreckage. Corvans? Junho had heard of them but never seen them. They were known for attacking human settlements on the outer planets. They've been more active lately, Taemin said, hitting survey ships, supply runs, anything human. We don't know why they're targeting your people specifically. Junho felt angry. His crew had died because someone wanted to start a fight with humans. Is this place safe? For now, Taemin said. But if the Corvans find out we're treating humans here, that might change. Yuna looked worried. The facility has rules about staying neutral. We help everyone, no matter what species they are. The Corvans don't care about rules, Taemin said quietly. Junho tried to sit up, but pain shot through his chest. Yuna was beside him immediately, her hands gentle but firm as she helped him lie back down. Rest, she said. You cannot help anyone if you do not heal first. She's right, Taemin said. Focus on getting better. We'll worry about everything else. As Taemin left, Yuna stayed by Junho's bed. She seemed to be thinking about something. What is it? Junho asked. I keep thinking about what you did, she said, reaching for my hand. In our culture, we believe that true feelings show themselves when the mind cannot control them. Maybe humans are more honest than we thought. What do you mean? Maybe your people understand something we do not, Yuna said. Something about connection and trust. Junho looked at her blue crystalline face and saw something he had not expected. Curiosity. She wanted to understand humans, not just heal them. If you want to understand humans, he said, you can start by asking questions, Yuna smiled. And for the first time since waking up, Junho felt like he might be safe. 2 days later, Junho could sit up without help. Yuna had brought him clothes and helped him move to a chair by the window. Outside, he could see the medical facility spread across a valley. Different types of buildings connected by covered walkways. Strange vehicles moved between them, carrying supplies and people from different worlds. How many species work here? Junho asked. 12, Yuna said. She was organizing medicine on a nearby table. Maybe 13 if you count the artificial beings from Sector 7. And they all get along? Mostly, Yuna said. Everyone follows the same rules. Help the sick, protect the neutral zone, share knowledge. It works because we all want the same thing. Junho watched aliens walking past his window. Some looked almost human while others were completely different. He saw a group of tall, thin beings with 4 legs talking to someone who looked like a walking tree. What do Veltharians usually think about humans? He asked. Yuna stopped working and thought about her answer. We think humans are impulsive. You make decisions with your emotions instead of logic. Most Veltharians believe this makes you dangerous. But you don't think that. I am not sure, Yuna said honestly. Before you came here, I thought human emotion was a weakness. But watching you heal, seeing how you worry about your dead crew members, how you want to protect others even when you are hurt, maybe emotion can be a different kind of strength. The door opened and a woman walked in. She was human, middle-aged, with short black hair and official-looking clothes. Behind her came a large man in security uniform and an elderly Veltharian with more arms than Yuna. Captain Junho, the woman said. I'm Director Haewon. I run this facility. Junho tried to stand, but Haewon waved him back down. Stay seated. You're still recovering. This is Security Chief Jinwoo, she said, pointing to the large man. And Elder Baum from the Veltharian Council. Elder Baum looked at Junho with obvious distrust. His bioelectric signals were visible as small sparks around his head, showing his agitation. We need to talk about your situation, Haewon said, and about what happened to your ship. Taemin said it was Corvan's, Junho said. It was, Jinwoo said. His voice was rough and serious. We found more wreckage yesterday. Your ship wasn't just shot down. It was targeted specifically. What do you mean? The weapons used were designed to disable, not destroy, Haewon explained. They wanted to capture you alive. Junho felt cold. Why would they want me? You're a survey captain, Jinwoo said. You know human military codes, ship routes, colony locations. That information is valuable to enemies. Elder Baum spoke for the first time. His voice was like music mixed with static. This proves humans bring danger wherever they go. We should have sent him away immediately. We don't abandon patients, Haewon said firmly. That's not what this place is for. But now the Corvans know we treated a human, Elder Baum said. They will consider us enemies. Yuna looked upset. We help everyone. That is our purpose. Purpose means nothing if we are all dead, Elderbaum replied. Junho watched the argument and felt guilty. These people had saved his life and now they were in danger because of him. Maybe I should leave, he said. I don't want to cause problems for you. You can't leave, Jinwoo said. You can barely walk. And besides, they're already tracking this place, and what do you mean? Haewon asked. Jinwoo looked grim. Our sensors picked up 3 Corvin scout ships at the edge of the system this morning. They're watching us. The room became quiet. Elderbaum's bioelectric signals grew brighter, showing his fear. How long before they attack? Haewon asked. Could be days, could be hours, Jinwoo said. Depends on what they're planning. We should evacuate, Elderbaum said. Save who we can and abandon this place. We have over 200 patients here, Haewon said. Many can't be moved safely. Then we save those we can and leave the rest, Elderbaum said coldly. Yuna made a sharp sound. We do not abandon patients, ever. Your human emotions are affecting your judgment, Elderbaum told her. Maybe that's not a bad thing, Yuna replied. Junho watched Yuna stand up to the elder. She was risking her position, maybe her place in Veltharian society, to defend human principles she had learned in just a few days. There might be another way, Junho said quietly. Everyone looked at him. My ship had military-grade sensors and communication equipment, he continued. If I could get to the wreckage, I might be able to send a message to the human fleet. They could send help. The crash site is 40 kilometers away through dangerous terrain, Jinwoo said, and the Corvins are probably watching it. It's still worth trying, Junho said. You can barely stand, Haewon pointed out. Then someone else goes with me, Junho said. Someone who knows medicine and can keep me functional long enough to reach the ship. Everyone looked at Yuna. She was the only one, with the medical skills and physical ability to make such a trip. Absolutely not, Elderbaum said immediately. Veltharians do not involve themselves in military conflicts. This isn't military, Yuna said. This is medical. Keeping a patient alive and mobile is medical care. You are letting human thinking corrupt you, Elderbaum accused. Maybe human thinking isn't so bad, Yuna replied. Junho was amazed. Yuna was willing to risk everything to help him, to help the facility. A few days ago, she had never even spoken to a human. I'll go too, Jinwoo said. Someone needs to provide security. And me, said a voice from the doorway. Everyone turned to see a young human woman in engineer clothes. She was small and looked very young. Sujin, what are you doing here? Haewon asked. I heard about the plan, Sujin said. You'll need someone who understands human ship systems. I've worked on survey ships before. This is too dangerous for a civilian, Jinwoo said. I'm not a civilian, Sujin replied. I used to be military. Engineer course, 3 tours on the outer rim. Haewon looked around the room. So we have a plan. Junho, Yuna, Jinwoo, and Sujin go to the crash site. Try to contact the human fleet. Meanwhile, we prepare the facility for possible attack. This is madness, Elderbaum said. You are risking Veltharian lives for human problems. No, Yuna said firmly. We are risking our lives for the right thing. Elderbaum stared at her for a long moment. Then he turned and left without another word. He'll report this to the Veltharian government, Haewon said. You know that, right? I know, Yuna said. But some things are more important than politics. Jinwoo started planning the mission. We leave at dawn. Take the emergency medical transport, stay low. Avoid main roads. If we're lucky, we can reach the crash site in 6 hours. And if we're not lucky, Sujin asked. Then we improvise, Jinwoo said. As the meeting ended, Junho stayed behind with Yuna. She was preparing medical supplies for the trip. Why are you doing this? He asked. Yuna didn't look up from her work. Because you would do the same for me. How can you be sure? Because that's what humans do, she said. You protect others even when it hurts you. I learned that from watching you. I didn't do anything special. Yes, you did, Yuna said. You showed me that caring about others isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing anyone can do. Outside the window, the sun was setting over the alien landscape. Tomorrow, they would risk everything to save people they barely knew. And somehow that felt exactly right. Dawn came too quickly. Junho woke up to alarms ringing throughout the medical facility. Red lights flashed in the hallways and he could hear people running and shouting. Yuna rushed into his room carrying a medical bag and wearing field gear. What's happening? Junho asked. getting out of bed as fast as his healing body would allow. Corvin ships, Yuna said quickly. 5 of them just entered the system. They're not hiding anymore. Junho felt his heart race. How long do we have? Jinwoo estimates 4 hours before they reach the planet, Yuna said. She helped him put on the clothes Sujin had brought. Maybe less if they have fast attack ships. They ran through the corridors toward the transport bay. Other aliens were everywhere, some packing equipment, others helping patients who could be moved. The fear was obvious on every face, no matter what species they were. In the transport bay, Jinwoo was loading weapons while Sujin checked the vehicle's systems. The transport was built for medical emergencies, fast but not heavily armored. Status report, Junho said when they reached the others. Not good, Jinwoo replied. The Corvin fleet is bigger than we thought. Our long-range sensors count at least 20 ships. 20? Sujin looked up from her work. That's not a raid. That's an invasion force. Which means they want more than just this facility, Junho realized. They're planning to take the whole planet. All the more reason to get help, Jinwoo said. Everyone ready? They climbed into the transport. Yuna sat next to Junho, her 6 arms busy with medical equipment. Sujin took the co-pilot seat while Jinwoo drove. The vehicle lifted off smoothly and headed toward the crash site. The landscape below them was beautiful but alien. Purple grass covered rolling hills and strange trees with silver leaves grew in perfect circles. Under different circumstances, Junho would have enjoyed the view. How are you feeling? Yuna asked, checking his vital signs with a handheld scanner. Like I'm about to do something very stupid. Junho admitted. That is very human, Yuna said with something that might have been a smile. Tell me about your people, Junho said. What will happen to you when this is over? I don't know, Yuna said honestly. Elder Baum was right about one thing. Feltharians are not supposed to get involved in conflicts between other species. But you're doing it anyway. Because staying neutral isn't always right, Yuna said. Sometimes you have to choose a side. Even if it costs you everything. Yuna was quiet for a moment. My people communicate through bioelectric signals. We can feel each other's emotions directly. But we've become afraid of strong feelings because they can be overwhelming. And humans taught me that strong feelings aren't something to fear, she said. They're something to use. When you held my hand while unconscious, you weren't afraid of the connection. You trusted it to make you stronger. Jinwoo's voice came over the comm system. Approaching the crash site. Everyone stay alert. Through the front window, Junho could see the remains of his ship. It was worse than he had imagined. The hull was split open and burned black. Pieces of metal were scattered across a wide area. Landing 50 meters from the wreck, Jinwoo announced. Sujin, you and Junho head for the ship. Yuna and I will watch for trouble. They landed hard and fast. As they got out of the transport, Junho could smell smoke still rising from his ship. The sight of it brought back memories of the attack. Fire, explosions, the screams of his crew. Stay focused, Yuna said, touching his arm gently. We need you to think clearly. Sujin was already at the ship, examining the damage. The bridge section is mostly intact, she called out. If your communication equipment survived, it'll be in there. They climbed through the wreckage carefully. Inside, everything was dark and twisted. Junho found his captain's chair, burned but still recognizable. The console where he had spent so many hours was cracked, but some of the displays still worked. Here, Sujin said, pulling panels away from the communication array. Some of the circuits are fried, but the main transmitter looks okay. Can you get it working? Junho asked. Give me 10 minutes, Sujin said, already connecting cables and replacing burned components. Outside, they could hear Jinwoo and Yuna talking quietly. Junho climbed out to check on them. Any signs of trouble? He asked. Not yet, Jinwoo said. He was scanning the horizon with military binoculars. But I don't like how quiet it is. Yuna was monitoring her bioelectric sensors. I'm not detecting any Veltharian signals, she said. But there's something else. Something that feels wrong. What kind of wrong? Junho asked. I don't know. The bioelectric field around this area is disturbed. Like something violent happened here recently. Before anyone could respond, Sujin's voice came from inside the ship. I've got power. Starting up the communication array now. They rushed back inside. Sujin had multiple displays working and was rapidly typing commands into the system. Sending out an emergency signal on all human military frequencies, she said. If there's a human ship within 50 light years, they'll hear it. How long for a response? Junho asked. Could be minutes, could be hours, Sujin said. Depends on where the nearest fleet is. A new alarm started beeping on the console. Sujin checked it and her face went pale. What is it? Jinwoo demanded. Motion sensors, Sujin said quietly. Multiple contacts approaching from the north fast. Jinwoo grabbed his weapons. How many? At least 6 vehicles, Sujin said. Moving in attack formation. Corvins, Junho said grimly. They must have been watching the crash site, Jinwoo said. Waiting for us to show up. Yuna's bioelectric sensors were flashing rapidly. They're close. Less than 2 kilometers and closing fast. We need to go, Jinwoo said. Now, wait, Sujin said. I'm getting a response to our signal. Everyone froze. A voice came through the speakers, static-filled but clearly human. This is Admiral Kyung-soo of the Human Defense Fleet. We received your emergency signal. What is your situation? Junho grabbed the microphone. Admiral, this is Captain Junho. We're at the medical facility on Kepler 442b. Corvin invasion force incoming, 20+ ships. We need immediate assistance. Captain Junho, your ship was reported lost 3 days ago, the Admiral's voice said. Are you certain about the Corvin numbers? Confirmed, sir. They're targeting the neutral medical facility. Over 200 patients at risk. There was a pause. Then, we have a battle group 12 hours out. Can you hold that long? I don't know, sir. We're about to come under attack ourselves. The sound of engines filled the air outside. Through the broken hull, they could see Corvin attack vehicles approaching fast. We have to move, Jinwoo said urgently. Admiral, we're under attack at the crash site, Junho said into the microphone. We'll attempt to return to the facility and coordinate defense. Understood, Captain. Hold position as long as possible. Kyung-soo out. Sujin was already shutting down the equipment. Got what we needed? Let's go. They ran for their transport as energy weapons began firing around them. Bright blue beams cut through the air, setting the purple grass on fire. Move, 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 Jinwoo shouted. Yuna helped Junho into the transport while Jinwoo and Sujin provided covering fire. The Corvin vehicles were closing in fast, their weapons getting more accurate. Everyone in, Jinwoo yelled. The transport lifted off just as a Corvin energy beam hit the ground where it had been sitting. They climbed rapidly, trying to get out of range. Status? Jinwoo called back to them. Junho's vital signs are elevated but stable, Yuna reported. The stress is pushing his healing body hard. Can he handle it? He'll have to, Yuna said, giving Junho an injection that made him feel stronger immediately. Sujin was working on a portable console. I'm tracking the Corvin fleet. They're moving faster than expected, maybe 2 hours until they reach the facility. And our help is 12 hours away, Junho said, which means we need to find a way to hold them off for 10 hours longer than possible. Jinwoo said grimly. There might be a way, Yuna said quietly. Everyone looked at her. The facility has defensive systems, she continued. Bioshields, energy dampeners, things designed to protect patients during natural disasters. They weren't made for warfare, but with some modifications. You're talking about turning a medical facility into a fortress, Sujin said. Yes, Yuna said simply, and I know how to do it. That would violate every treaty about neutral zones, Jinwoo pointed out. The Corvins already violated those treaties when they decided to attack, Yuna replied. Junho looked at her with amazement. You're really willing to throw away everything your people believe in? I'm not throwing it away, Yuna said. I'm choosing something better. I'm choosing to fight for what's right instead of hiding behind what's safe. As they flew back toward the facility, Junho realized that the war had already changed all of them. But maybe that change was exactly what they needed to survive. The medical facility was in chaos when they returned. Aliens ran everywhere, carrying equipment and helping patients evacuate. Some species had already left in their own ships, abandoning the facility to save themselves. Others stayed, determined to help defend the wounded who could not be moved. Haewon met them at the landing pad. Report, she said quickly. Good news and bad news, Jinwoo said. Good news, we contacted Admiral Kyung-soo. Human fleet is 12 hours out. And the bad news? Corvin fleet will be here in less than 2 hours, Sujin said. Haewon closed her eyes for a moment. So we need to hold them off for 10 hours with a medical facility. Yuna has an idea, Junho said. All eyes turned to the Veltharian nurse. She looked nervous but determined. Our bioshields can be modified, Yuna said. Instead of protecting against weather, we can tune them to deflect energy weapons. The facility's power core is strong enough to create a defensive barrier around the entire complex. How long would it last? Haywan asked. Against a full attack? Yuna calculated quickly. Maybe 6 hours. Less if they bring heavy weapons. That still leaves us 4 hours short, Jinwoo pointed out. Then we find other ways to buy time, Junho said. Harassment attacks, hit-and-run tactics, anything to slow them down. Doctor, Taimin approached their group. I've been monitoring Corvin communications, he said. They're not just here to destroy the facility. They want prisoners, specifically human prisoners. Why? Haywan asked. Intelligence, Junho said grimly. They want information about human colonies, fleet movements, defense plans, which means they'll try to take the facility intact, Sujin realized. They won't just blast it from orbit. That gives us an advantage, Jinwoo said. Ground combat is more even than space battles. Elder Bomb appeared, walking quickly toward them. His bioelectric signals were bright with anger. Yuna, he said sharply. The council has spoken. You are ordered to evacuate immediately. Return to Veltharian space at once. No, Yuna said simply. Elder Bomb's signals flared brighter. You cannot refuse a direct order from the council. I can and I do, Yuna replied. These people need medical care. I will not abandon them. You have been corrupted by human influence, Elder Bomb accused. Your judgment is no longer reliable. My judgment is clearer than it has ever been, Yuna said. I know the difference between right and wrong. The council will declare you exile for this, Elder Bomb warned. Then I will be an exile who did the right thing, Yuna said calmly. Elder Bomb stared at her for a long moment, then turned and walked away. Junho realized that Yuna had just given up her entire life, her family, her culture to stay and help. You don't have to do this, he said quietly. Yes, I do, Yuna replied. This is who I choose to be. The next hour passed in frantic preparation. Yuna worked with the facility's engineers to modify the bioshield generators. Sujin and Jin Woo set up defensive positions and weapon emplacements. Tai Min organized medical teams to treat the wounded who would inevitably come. Junho found himself coordinating everything, his military training taking over despite his injuries. Yuna stayed close, monitoring his condition and providing medical support when the stress became too much. Corvin ships entering orbit, Sujin announced over the comm system. Estimate 15 minutes until ground assault begins. Through the windows they could see alien ships descending through the atmosphere. The Corvin vessels were dark and angular, built for war rather than exploration. Bioshields are ready, Yuna reported. Activating now. A shimmering barrier appeared around the facility like a soap bubble made of light. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. First wave incoming, Jinwoo called out. 6 assault ships, landing 2 kilometers north. Junho watched through binoculars as Corvin soldiers emerged from their ships. They were tall and thin, covered in dark armor that made them look like mechanical insects. Their weapons were larger and more advanced than anything the facility had. They're moving in formation, he reported. Professional soldiers, not raiders. How many? Haywan asked. Maybe 200 in the first wave, Junho estimated. More ships are landing to the east and west. They're surrounding us, Jinwoo said grimly. The first energy blasts hit the bioshield 30 seconds later. The barrier flared and held, but Junho could see it wavering under the assault. Shield strength at 90%, Yuna reported. But it's dropping fast. We need to reduce the pressure on the shields, Junho said. Jinwoo, take a team and hit their eastern flank. Make them think we have more defenders than we do. On it, Jinwoo said, gathering security personnel and volunteers. More Corvin ships were landing every minute. The attack was coordinated and overwhelming. Junho realized they were facing a military force designed to capture heavily defended positions. Shield at 70%, Yuna announced. An explosion rocked the facility as Corvin heavy weapons began firing. Through the bioshield, Junho could see enemy soldiers advancing in organized lines. "They're testing our defenses," he said, looking for weak points. "Found one," Sujin called out. "Eastern shield generator is overloading. If it fails, they'll have a gap to exploit." "I'll go fix it," Yuna said, grabbing her medical kit and some tools. "It's too dangerous," Junho protested. "The generator is in the medical wing," Yuna said. "I know those systems better than anyone." "I'm coming with you," Junho said. "Your injuries." "We'll have to wait," Junho finished. "You'll need someone to watch your back." They ran through corridors filled with smoke and emergency lighting. Other aliens pressed against walls as explosions shook the building. Some looked at Yuna with admiration, others with fear. She had become something new, something their species had never seen before. The Eastern Medical Wing was under heavy attack. Energy beams punched through windows and walls, setting equipment on fire. The shield generator was sparking and overheating in the basement. "There," Yuna said, pointing to damaged circuits. "If I can reroute power through the backup systems." She worked quickly, her 6 arms moving in perfect coordination. Junho watched the entrances, alert for any sign of Corvin infiltrators. "How long?" he asked. "Almost done," Yuna said. "Just need to—" The wall exploded inward. 3 Corvin soldiers burst through, their weapons already firing. Junho threw himself in front of Yuna, taking an energy blast in the shoulder that sent him spinning to the ground. The Corvins advanced, speaking in their harsh, clicking language. One of them grabbed Yuna while the others covered the room with their weapons. "Human prisoner," the leader said in broken standard. "Come or alien dies." Junho struggled to stand, his shoulder burning with pain. "Let her go. You come. Now. Or we kill alien nurse." Junho looked at Yuna. Her bioelectric signals were calm despite the danger. She was trying to tell him something without words. "Fix generator," she whispered. "Save facility." "I'm not leaving you," Junho said. "You have to," Yuna replied. "This is bigger than just us." The Corvin leader raised his weapon toward Yuna's head. "Choose quickly, human." Junho felt something break inside his chest. Not his ribs this time, but something deeper. The realization that sometimes saving others meant losing the people you cared about most. "Okay," he said quietly. "I'll come." But as he moved toward the Corvins, Yuna acted. Her bioelectric abilities, normally used for healing, discharged in a powerful pulse that overloaded the Corvins' armor systems. They collapsed, their weapons clattering to the floor. "Yuna!" Junho rushed to where she had fallen. The bioelectric discharge had drained her completely. "Generator," she whispered weakly. "Finish the repairs." Junho looked at the damaged equipment, then at Yuna's pale face. With his injured shoulder and no technical knowledge, he had no idea how to fix the complex systems. But Yuna reached out and took his hand, just like he had taken hers when he was unconscious. And somehow, through their connection, he could feel what needed to be done. Working together, injured human and exhausted alien, they completed the repairs. The shield generator hummed back to life and the eastern barrier strengthened. "Shield at full power." Sujin's voice came over the comm. "Whatever you did worked." Junho helped Yuna to her feet. She was weak, but smiling. "We did it," she said. "No," Junho replied. "You did it. You saved everyone." "We saved everyone," Yuna corrected. "Together." Outside, the battle continued. But for the first time since the attack began, Junho believed they might actually survive long enough for help to arrive. Hours passed like years. The Corvin assault continued with mechanical precision, but the facility held. Yuna's modifications to the bioshields proved more effective than anyone had expected. The barriers absorbed energy weapon fire and redirected it harmlessly into the ground. Junho found himself in the command center, coordinating defense efforts despite his injuries. His shoulder throbbed constantly, but Yuna's medical treatments kept him functional. She stayed close, monitoring his condition while also managing the shield systems. "Status report," Haywan requested over the comm. "Shields holding at 60%, Yuna announced. "But power reserves are dropping. Maybe 4 more hours of protection." Corvin forces regrouping for another assault. Jinwoo added from his position on the perimeter. They're bringing up heavier weapons. Any word from Admiral Kyung-soo? Junho asked. Sujin checked her communication array. Fleet is still 8 hours out. Moving as fast as they can, but they have to come through Corvin patrol lines. 8 more hours, Junho calculated quickly. The shields would fail in 4 hours, leaving them defenseless for at least 4 hours before help arrived. Even if they could hold the Corvins off manually, the odds were impossible. There might be another option, Yuna said quietly. What kind of option? Haiwan asked. The facility's main power core, Yuna explained. If we overload it deliberately, we could create an electromagnetic pulse strong enough to disable Corvin equipment in a wide radius. How wide? Jinwoo wanted to know. Maybe 10 kilometers, Yuna said. Enough to knock out their ships and ground vehicles. What about us? Sujin asked. Would we survive the pulse? The bioshields would protect everyone inside the facility, Yuna said. But the pulse would drain all our power. No shields, no weapons, no communication. So we'd be defenseless, but so would they, Junho summarized. For how long? Haewon asked. Their ships would need at least 12 hours to restart their systems, Yuna estimated. More than enough time for the human fleet to arrive. There was silence as everyone considered the plan. It was desperate, but it might work. What's the downside? Jinwoo asked. If the pulse doesn't work perfectly, or if some Corvin equipment survives, we'd have no way to defend ourselves, Yuna admitted. And if we do nothing, Junho pointed out, the shields fail in 4 hours and we're dead anyway. I vote for the electromagnetic pulse, Sujin said. At least it gives us a fighting chance. Agreed, Jinwoo said over the comm. Yuna, how long do you need to set it up? Haewon asked. 2 hours, Yuna said, but I'll need help. The modifications are complex and dangerous. I'll help, Junho said immediately. Your injuries are my problem, Junho finished. We're in this together. The next 2 hours were the longest of Junho's life. He and Yuna worked in the facility's power core chamber, a massive room filled with bioelectric generators that hummed with barely contained energy. The modifications required precise timing and steady hands. One mistake could kill them both. Disconnect the third stabilizer, Yuna instructed. Carefully. If it arcs to the main conduit, boom. Junho finished using tools designed for Veltharian hands. His human fingers were clumsy with the alien technology, but Yuna guided him patiently. You're learning quickly, she said. Good teacher, Junho replied, concentrating on the delicate work. I want you to know something, Yuna said as they worked. Before I met you, I thought emotions were a weakness. Veltharians are taught to suppress feelings, to rely only on logic. And now I understand that emotions aren't weakness, she said. They're strength. They give you reasons to fight when logic says you should surrender. Junho looked at her. Is that why you stayed? Emotion over logic? I stayed because staying was right, Yuna said simply. Logic told me to run. Emotion told me to fight. For the first time in my life, I chose emotion. And how does it feel? Yuna smiled, her crystalline features brightening. Terrifying. Wonderful. Alive. They worked in comfortable silence after that, their movements synchronized like they had been doing this for years instead of hours. When Junho's hands shook from fatigue, Yuna steadied them. When she needed to reach something too far away, he helped her position her equipment. Final connection, Yuna announced. Once I make this, we have 5 minutes before the pulse activates. Everyone ready? Junho asked over the comm. All personnel in protected areas, Haewon confirmed. Shields at maximum strength. Corvin forces are massing for another assault, Jinwoo reported. Perfect timing. Here we go, Yuna said. She made the final connection. Immediately, alarms began sounding throughout the facility. The power core's hum became a roar as energy built toward critical levels. 4 minutes, Yuna said. They ran toward the exit, but halfway there, Junho collapsed. The stress and injury had finally overwhelmed his body. Go, he gasped. Save yourself. Not happening, Yuna said firmly. She lifted him with surprising strength, carrying him toward safety. 3 minutes, Sujin's voice echoed through the corridors. You can't carry me fast enough, Junho protested. We'll both die. Then we die together, Yuna said. I'm not leaving you behind. 2 minutes. Junho tried to argue, but he could see the determination in Yuna's bioelectric signals. She had made her choice. Human and alien, they would face whatever came next as partners. They reached the protected area with 30 seconds to spare. Yuna sealed the blast doors and activated the emergency shields just as the power core reached critical overload. "Everyone down," Hei-Wan shouted. The electromagnetic pulse hit like a thunderclap made of lightning. Even through the shields, Junho could feel the energy washing over them. Every piece of electronic equipment in the facility went dark. Emergency lighting failed. Communication systems died. But they were alive. In the sudden silence, they could hear something amazing. The sound of Corvan vehicles crashing as their systems failed. Explosions echoed across the landscape as disabled ships fell from the sky. Did it work? Someone whispered in the darkness. Sujin activated a manual scanner, one of the few devices hardened against electromagnetic interference. "Scanning, yes. All Corvan signatures are down. No active weapons, no moving vehicles." Cheers erupted throughout the facility. They had done it. Against impossible odds, they had disabled an entire invasion force. 8 hours later, Admiral Kyung-Soo's fleet arrived to find the facility intact and the Corvan forces helpless. The rescue was swift and complete. Junho woke up in a medical bed 3 days later. The first thing he saw was Yuna sitting beside him, checking his vital signs with equipment borrowed from the human fleet. "How long was I unconscious?" he asked. 3 days, Yuna said. "Your body finally demanded rest after everything it had been through." "And you? What happened to you?" "The Veltharian Council declared me exile," Yuna said matter-of-factly. "I can never return to my homeworld." "I'm sorry," Junho said. "I'm not," Yuna replied. "I found something better than my old life." "What's that?" "Purpose," she said simply. "And friends worth fighting for." Junho reached out without thinking, and Yuna took his hand immediately. The gesture that had once confused and shocked her alien colleagues now felt natural, right? "Admiral Kyung-Soo offered me a position," Junho said. "Liaison officer between the human fleet and this facility. It would mean staying here permanently." "And?" "I said yes," Junho smiled. "Someone needs to make sure the humans and aliens keep working together." "That's very wise," Yuna said. "I accepted a similar position, cultural exchange specialist. So we're both staying?" "It appears so." They sat in comfortable silence, hands linked, watching alien suns set through the medical bay window. The facility was rebuilding, stronger than before. Humans and aliens worked side by side, learning from each other. "Yuna," Junho said eventually. "Yes?" "Thank you for everything." "Thank you," she replied, "for showing me what it means to be brave." "I wasn't brave. I was terrified the whole time." "That's what made it brave," Yuna said. "Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to do what's right despite the fear." As the alien stars came out one by one, Junho realized that his crash landing had led him exactly where he needed to be. Sometimes the best discoveries came not from exploring new worlds, but from finding new ways to connect with the people who inhabited them. Human or alien, it didn't matter. What mattered was choosing to care, choosing to fight, choosing to hold someone's hand when they needed comfort most. And in that choice, humanity's greatest strength revealed itself. Not advanced technology or military might, but the simple, powerful ability to form bonds that transcended species, culture, and fear itself.